Welcome everybody to another episode of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl Cindy G here. We are in episode 18 and Elite Fruition. That is right, you guys. A lot has been going on lately besides the 200 episode of the Bullet Cast, which yours truly made the appearance, of course. But hey, a lot has been going on. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to have to bring someone with me to talk about what's going on for today's episode. So y'all remember him from like past appearance of this show. He is from NoDQ.com and also the co-host of the podcast Sauce Sauce. Say hello to Simple Man himself and who is a lifelong fan of wrestling, Noah Foster. Hey Noah, how's it going?
It's going very well. Hope you and your family had a joyous Thanksgiving holiday. Shout out to the Bullet Cast, by the way. Congrats on 200 episodes. And I look forward to once again having a great conversation with you on all things wrestling because, good Lord Almighty, to say a lot happened this week would be an understatement.
Indeed. I mean, there has been so much going on, especially with like the 200 episode, which shout out to Philip and Brandon. Congratulations on like putting up this incredible content, especially for this podcast, and having me on board to be part of the Bullet Cast team. So I'm always forever grateful for that, especially with this show as well, which I can talk about anything wrestling that is non-WWE, even though I want to make a disclaimer, you guys. I don't hate WWE, you guys. I just don't agree with like everything that's going on. So I disagree with like everything that's been going on as of late from WWE, but I don't hate them. I just want to let y'all know because there is a difference between dislike and hate. So I just wanted to clear the air, y'all, you know. So yeah, with that being said, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hope your Thanksgiving went well, Noah.
It did. Praise the Lord. I was able to, my mom and I were able to celebrate Thanksgiving. She had to come home the day before because that was a rough 2 weeks. And that's why I took a hiatus from pretty much all things wrestling, social media, etc. And then to make things even better, that Thursday when we thought we were going to have Thanksgiving dinner, my family briefly came over safely in mass and then left immediately, but provided us platters of the Thanksgiving feast. It was absolutely glorious.
That's very good to hear, and I'm glad your mom is doing well, Noah. Like I said, we all of us did send our prayers and energy to you, and of course, she is doing well.
Yeah, I can't thank you on her. She's doing much better. She wished she could walk, but again, it's one day at a time. She's just glad to be back home.
That's good to hear. Alrighty, so enough of this mumbo jumbo, y'all. So we're gonna be talking about today's episode. So we're definitely gonna be doing the usual wrestling headline, including another wrestling death news, of course. Also, the newest recruitment to WWE Performance Center. Also, Triple H's interesting comment regarding working with other promotion. Also, recap and results from this week's New Japan Strong, the Road to Detonation Tour, as well as this week's past episode Impact Wrestling. And since that Philip and Brandon did not cover this week's episode of Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite because we were all celebrating the 200th episode with Philip's blessing. We will be covering AEW's Dynamite Winter is Coming, you guys, because there is a lot to talk about, especially with yours truly who normally covers Impact Wrestling, and there is gonna be a lot to say about it. And like I said, I do watch AEW. You saw me on past pay-per-view recap videos with Philip and Brandon. So yeah, y'all. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the wrestling headline news and sadness, of course. So the sadness of it is, as you guys know, a couple days ago, WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson has passed away at the age of 79. There has been more details regarding his death. So according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer News, that Pat Patterson has been battling bladder cancer in recent years. And in addition to that, Patterson had been living with dementia, which has gotten worse earlier this year. And Patterson needed assisted living care. However, Sylvia Greener, who is the close friend with Patterson in recent years, visited Patterson last month in Florida and was concerned because, of course, Pat Patterson had lost 60 pounds at the hospital. It was discovered that Patterson had a tumor in his lung, and a biopsy has been scheduled for supposed to be today, December 4th. That was to determine if it was cancerous or not. So he was supposed to be having an appointment today, but unfortunately, Pat Patterson had to be rushed to the hospital on November 27th due to a blood clot in his liver. And for what Meltzer said, that Pat Patterson did pass away earlier in the morning of December 2nd due to a liver failure. So that's been the recent development regarding Pat Patterson's death. I know it has been affected everybody in the wrestling industry. He was the first ever WWE Intercontinental Champion. He was the mastermind of the Royal Rumble, and he was more involved in the Bay Area independent wrestling scene back in the early days as well. And I know that his last independent appearance was at All Pro Wrestling back in 2017. And that was before I went to APW. And it was at the Cow Palace, when he made the appearance. And hearing, like, everybody's stories about Pat Patterson, and it was like, it's such a really sad moment, to say at least. So, Noah, what are your thoughts of Pat Patterson? Do you have any fond moments of him and everything?
He did it his way. God bless that man. He had a hell of a voice. He had a hell of a character, and he gave so much to the business, had a positive impact on so many people. Again, like you said, innovator for Royal Rumble, first ever Continental Champion. The incredible moments he's had with, I know somebody who was truly affected by this, besides Vince McMahon, Gerald Briscoe. You got to think about all the fun times we had with the Stooges moments, especially during the Attitude Era. The influence he's had on so many up-and-coming young WWE superstars who have garnered this Intercontinental Championship as something very special. I thought it was a beautiful tribute they did tonight, and keep it short and simple. My prayers and condolences to the entire Patterson family. I hope after tonight they also do some sort of special tribute to him at the Royal Rumble. If nothing else, highlight him for maybe Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet or not, but his legacy will live on forever.
I believe he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, but
I think he is. Yeah.
Let me take a well. They say I'm WWE Hall of Famer, so he's pretty much is. But correct me if I'm wrong. So, pretty sure he is and stuff. But regardless of that, he was the whole game changer of the wrestling industry, especially with the Royal Rumble. Without his Royal Rumble creativity, we couldn't have the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and like the concept of it. That kind of nears the forefront of wrestling too. So I know that WWE did a beautiful tribute. AEW actually mentioned about Pat Patterson's death during the commentary of the opening match, which we'll get into that when we go to the AEW Dynamite recap lastly. And I know that Philip actually did a short tribute to Pat Patterson on the third to last episode, where he did talk about Pat Patterson's legacy, which I highly you guys check it out. It was a beautiful, almost 10-minute listening to it.
Man, was proud. He had a lot of heart. He also is the first openly gay wrestler as well, and why people might always belittle that stigma with him. The fact that this man was just comfortable with who he was, I feel is a real encouragement to those that may be afraid to be themselves, because this world is so critical and judgmental. At the end of the day, you're responsible with the own way you live. And again, he had such a positive influence on everybody he ever was around.
Indeed. He's always going to be the forefront and always going to be the legend for like everybody within the industry, no matter what sex, gender, race, color, or anything. He definitely brought in the example. So our heart goes out to friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, and fans of Pat Patterson. May he rest in peace.
Up there with Mean Gene Okerlund now. What a roster.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to be enjoying all the great matches in heaven, especially the Royal Rumble concept match. Anyway, y'all, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next wrestling headline right here. That is right. The recent Performance Center recruitment, you guys. So as you guys know, news break that we have a familiar face that's officially confirmed that they're now signed with WWE. That is right. You have is two members of the Rascal, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, who is now in the Performance Center, as well as, of course, Alex Zane, which you've seen him on New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong and past New Japan Pro Wrestling USA shows and other independent wrestling show. Not only him, surprisingly enough, Russ Taylor, that is right. You've seen him on Ring of Honor, PWG, also in New Japan Strong, who is part of the recent member of the New Japan Team Filthy, which I was completely surprised. I did not know he got signed to WWE. Like, holy crap. And also another wrestler that got signed is, that's right, Eichmann, who wrestled for All Japan Pro Wrestling and who was trained under Tajiri, got signed. And then we have is a former WNBA basketball player, that's right, Andrea Howard. So these are the latest recruitment to the WWE Performance Center, and holy crap, this is kind of like a more of an exciting news for the fact that, like, we all know that Des, Alex, and Zach got signed, you know, even though it was like lingering around, but I think that it's already been confirmed. I know a lot of people are asking, where's Trey Miguel? I say he signed at WWE, what's happening to him? Well, we don't know what's going on with Trey Miguel, but, you know, you never know where he's going to be ending up. But, yeah, you guys, I'm very excited for what's going to be happening next, and also the fact about what's going to be happening with New Japan Strong as well, because I know they did the advanced taping, but it doesn't even indicate, like, when is Alex Zane's final match, which we're going to be getting to that when we're going to be doing the recap, and also Russ Taylor, since the whole Team Filthy New Japan version, it's already been formed. So, Noah, what are your thoughts of the latest class?
A very unique class of athletes and professional wrestlers galore. The Rascals are sure to bring strong impact, no pun intended, to, I feel like, the tag team division that definitely could use that sort of energy and rekindleship. I know they're using NXT UK towards that, but now they got two very fresh talents and well-known tag team combatants. Then you got the guy with the sauce, Alex Zane, who's going to bring his hybrid style. I can see him contending for the North American Championship right out of the gates. We have another former female athlete. I'm sure that she and Simone Johnson, the Rock's daughter, I'm sure they're going to have some good feuding to come to. We're looking at the future of NXT right here. A very unique class of individuals. Russ Taylor caught me by surprise because, again, he recently is now part of the NJPW Strong version of Team Filthy. So I'm curious what him and Alex Zane's last matches are going to be. And with NJPW Strong, of course, finishing up their tapings in advance, along with Impact Wrestling, you really don't know where everybody's going to place at this point. But, hey, now we know these people. Whether Trey becomes freelancer, whether Ethan Page becomes freelancer, talk more about that later. Only time will tell. But I wish all these great athletes and wrestlers the best in WWE. May all their dreams now be fulfilled, and may their anxiety not reach a boiling point when it comes to dealing with Vince McMahon.
Indeed. I mean, I know that a lot of people are having, like, mixed criticism, like, whether or not their favorite independent wrestling stars signed with WWE, or asking questions like why they are signed with WWE. They should have been signed to, like, AEW or another promotion to make it happen. All I can say, you guys, especially for me, that, like, even though I stopped watching WWE and I made it clear that I don't hate the company, I dislike and stuff, but when it comes to the wrestlers itself, they have their dreams, they have their goals to chase. If they choose to go to WWE, that's their choice and their preference. You know, nobody's not going to tell them what to do, like, in different wrestling fans alike, for the fact that, like, no matter what WWE is doing, they're screwed up, you know. It's not going to prevent any of the talent to, like, you know, to quit and just go to different promotions, or, like, have them change their mind. That's what these independent wrestling star has, like, different goals and different mindset too. So I'm happy for the Rascals and Alex and Russ Taylor to get their bigger opportunity for them to debut. And no matter what they're going to do along the line, I mean, that's their preference and that's their true happiness and their dream coming.
At the end of the day, we cannot dictate these people's lives, nor their professions, nor their career paths. At the end of the day, all you can do is support them because at the end of the day, while I may sound redundant, it's as simple as this. This is their job to provide for themselves and their families. And no matter what, WWE is the go-to for the highest potential to set yourself for life, no matter how long it may take.
Exactly. So we're just gonna see how everything gonna play out for these talents. So, and congratulations to everyone that recently got signed to WWE. Hope everything will become true. All right, you guys, and the last piece of the wrestling headline news. So Triple H during the media call to promote the NXT Takeover War Games pay-per-view. So someone asked that Triple H asked about the AEW working with Impact Wrestling and if WWE could be open to working with other promotion. 1 second, gotta take a sip.
Oh boy.
It's okay because I got wind actually caught something in my tunnel. Like, don't you hate like when something is like trapped, like air or something like that?
Yeah.
You gotta take a drink. I just don't want to cough. Don't worry, y'all. It's not COVID, so.
No, she's fine. She's fine. I guarantee I'm fine too. And yeah, you don't want to cough on the air. Or,
I know. Well, because like I know,
I get it.
Like whenever I'm listening to In the Click, and when Baby Huey kind of coughed, Jimbo, which at the time he used to be part of the In the Click before venturing to a different opportunity. Which shout out to Jimbo, and he did appear on the 200 episode as well as Baby Huey too.
Hey, everybody.
Anyway, yeah, and so Jim was like, "Hope you don't get COVID," and he was like, "No, it's not COVID." So, like, whenever we're trying to not to cough, we're just trying to make it professional. Like, well, this is what the show's about: having fun and being authentic or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so get back to the wrestling headline news. All right, so Triple H said, and I quote, "We're open for business in a lot of ways and a lot of things. People thought it misperception. Their perceived knowledge of what we do and how we think is often greatly misinterpreted and not accurate. Are we open to the right business opportunity? Yeah, at any given time, we're open to things. It just depends on what they are and if they're beneficial to us in a long term. When I say term, I don't mean 3 months. I mean 10 years. Long term, that's how we think. We're not necessarily worried about minute by minute, open for business." I think Vince said that a lot, and I've been around him long enough in the right thing, meaningful to business. He's open to anything, and that's a courtesy from WrestleZone.com. So yeah, when I found out about this for that, I was having like a mixed feeling for it until I came to a conclusion. And I know that like I posted an Instagram story when the Bulletcast had actually posted it on the headline on the Instagram page. I simply put hard no, to quote Wayne of Letterkenny. And when I posted that, I got DMs asking why and are you kidding me and stuff. And like, here's the thing, you guys. When it comes to WWE wanting to work with other promotion, honestly, I don't think it's not going to happen, especially the fact that WWE is well off. It is what it is. I mean, they have their own like roster brand, like Raw and SmackDown. They have NXT and NXT UK overseas. Like, what more do they need too? And it's like they've already invested with the company. It's already been well established throughout the years. And I know someone asked me like, well, AEW is doing their situation going on with other partnership like AAA Wrestling and OVW, but why not WWE? It's a different separate situation with AEW. They're a year-old company, so of course they're going to be getting some aid with other promotions. And like I said, we're going to get into that. We're talking about Dynamite shortly. Well, not shortly, but like later on throughout the episode. But with WWE, they're actually much okay. But yeah, whatever they're planning on working on like different companies, honestly, they should work with like another major companies that is like much longer. Like, shoot, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'll be shocked. But even though as someone that is like doesn't give a damn about WWE, like I stated, I don't hate the company. I don't agree with the practices and also the latest situation. But at the end of the day, it depends on what Vince McMahon is wanting to and making the call. Noah, what are your thoughts of this? Would you like to see WWE working with like other promotions, like as partnership?
Okay, first off, let me also agree with you there because as a lifelong fan of sports entertainment since 1992, I don't agree with everything WWE's doing nowadays, but I still keep up with the black and gold because I always will forever be NXT. Shout out to NXT UK with the leading General Walter. And speed of which, going off that point, they already have worked with other companies, as we've seen in business keynotes, or I have. Triple H wants to idealize the NXT brand, especially through global localization. If that partnership with Bushiroad didn't happen, we probably would have NXT Japan, which I know he's still working on as we speak. He wants to take the NXT brand all over the world. So clearly, as far as him working with more companies, I think he's more falling back on that idea. Whether or not Vince agrees with him, that don't matter. Triple H owns the NXT brand. That is his project. He's already used it to build NXT UK after getting Evolve, ICW, WXW, and various other promotions throughout the UK scene. So with that being said, I'm not against it because at the end of the day, if you want the promotion, if you want the industry to thrive, as John Moxley says, more business, hey, more opportunity. That's what it means at the end of the day. So I'm not against them trying to do this in their own way, as long as everybody comes out better on the other side. I'm not going to be one of those that just writes them off due to basic business promises we've seen already, because I don't think the past should reflect your future. I'm not against it, and I wish them the best in that pursuit.
Exactly. I mean, you never know how the future's going to expect with the companies if they want to work with like partnership with different companies alike. I mean, it just depends on like if they're in a dire situation in a business aspect of it too.
Exactly.
Like, whether or not they needed to have more ratings to draw the audience.
It's business at the end of the day, whether you agree with it or not. I don't work for the company. I don't have stock in the company. Who am I to judge, belittle, or argue business practices? When at the end of the day, all I want is better wrestling and more opportunities to watch better wrestling.
I second agree with that as well. Better wrestling, better business opportunity, especially like treatment with the talents. That's all I wanted. So exactly. Alrighty, you guys. So with that being said, because we don't want to ramble so long about this, because I know I have so many opinions about it, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Ever had a piece on that? Shout out to Wrestling Rides, all wrestling riders, all the great, creative, expressive minds, just like you and everyone I've come to know. Because everyone's opinion should matter at the end of the day.
Amen.
That's all it is. It's opinion. It's not fact. Just opinion.
Exactly. Of course. And we could express it with everyone, even with the joy. Yeah.
I know what you did there. Moving on.
Now let's move on here. So anyway, y'all. So let's go ahead and segue away from the wrestling headlines, and let's go ahead and go with the results and recap. Starting off with New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to the Detonation Tour took place on Friday, December 4th, 2020. So your opening of the match you have is the DKC with Clark Connors versus Sterling Regal with Logan Regal. So this is Sterling Regal's first singles action since his debut on New Japan Strong a couple weeks ago. And overall, this is kind of like a continuing feud between the Regal twins and also DKC and Clark Connors alike. I was paying attention to a lot of the match. It's because of Clark and Logan was on ringside, like cheering like their prospective partners like on and coaching them. That got me more drawn to it. Like no matter what the whole empty arena situation, as I stated in the 200 episode of the Bullet Cast, like they always come up with like a creative idea to fill the void from like the empty arena or the empty studio facility too. So they did an absolute amazing job. So this match, it has a lot of like the technical counter with like a couple of grappling holds, mainly from DKC because he is a technician in his style. And then you have Sterling with the impressive Tope Suicida. But then he did, while he was going on the top rope to do his moonsault, DKC actually kind of like dodge it, and that's where Sterling did land it on his feet, but pretty brutal. Like, you thought that, like, he kind of injured his ankle, but he came out okay. And then at the end, of course, like, towards the end of the match, which, like, more impressive, more counters, more defensive. Sterling did the elbow drop until DKC countered with the clutch lock, but then, like, later on throughout, Sterling did actually rolled over from DKC's impressive submission hold, and thus Sterling Regal did pick up the victory. And after the match, you saw that there was almost going to be a brawl between DKC and Clark Connors against the Regal twins. So it was far an impressive match. Your thoughts, Noah?
A very competitive, balanced opener where in the end it came down to an inside cradle that gave the Sterling Bros the win. Now they're 1-1 in tag matches and 1-1 in singles matches. Something has to give. They might need to do a 2 out of 3 falls tag team match at this point. But I thought it was a good opener. And again, the DKC Techniker showing his hybrid style. And Regal, he made it work. And you got to imagine the outside influence was definitely played in part towards him being able to count a finish, whether it was motivation or just keynotes or points. And again, the hardest challenge I feel for any wrestler, definitely during this era of wrestling now with a pandemic, is the fact that you don't have that push, that rush, that drive of the fans to help you through this. So I think the outside partners helped them out greatly with this match. Good opener.
Indeed. And I'm looking forward to see what's going to be happening next, especially this is going to be like an ongoing feud for like a short time. But who knows, especially with the tour that is coming up on the next episode of New Japan Strong. All right, so next up you have is Blake Christian versus Alex Zane. So they have not mentioned if this is going to be Alex Zane's final New Japan Pro Wrestling appearance, since now he's officially signed with WWE. But I know Kevin Kelly said this match is actually going to be something special because he's having a match with his best friend. So pretty much kind of gives a hint that this is the last time we're going to be seeing Alex Zane in New Japan Strong. I know they did advanced taping, but who knows? So anyway, guys, so this match, it actually really blowing away. You see a lot of more cruiserweight action in the mix, a lot of counters, a lot of defenses. Like, holy crap, I love it. Blake Christian with the impressive Hurricane run out of the ring, and then Alex Zane did actually an amazing springboard, which actually catches Christian mid-flight. So this is much a heavy-hitting match. And at the end, of course, after Alex Zane did try to do the Crunch Wrap Supreme, but counter with the 2 counts. And then, of course, he did his impressive finisher, and thus he picked up the victory. So this is a well-deserved win for Alex Zane himself. Your thoughts, Noah?
A great match against 2 people that are respectable friends that have unlimited potential when it comes to their in-ring background. We've seen how far Blake Christian will push himself, but we've also seen how wild Alex Zane will drive himself as he got the win with the Taco Driver. Seriously, if this guy's in WWE, if he doesn't get an endorsement from Taco Bell, I will be bloody shocked. Really good match. I was rooting for Blake Christian, though, because he's always been one of my favorites. He's always impressed me the most here, but I can't argue with the result. It was fair, square, clean, about the same pace as the other match, too. I'd love to see these 2 go at it again, and honestly, it might have been set up because, again, it was a match between 2 friends. At the end of the day, though, Zane looked the strongest.
Indeed, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, this is going to be probably it we'll see in Alex Zane, unless if you're going to make like kind of like a brief Twitter statement from New Japan, maybe Kevin Kelly, or even Alex Clausen, or maybe Alex Zane himself. Depends on like the, you know, what he said, like when it comes to the last independent wrestling bookings and stuff, he'll make a statement that this is the last time he'll be in New Japan or something. But we'll see. But if this is going to be his last match, I mean, this is a great way to send him off, you know?
Great.
Yeah, so overall, in advance, thank you so much, Alex Zane. You've been one hell of a wrestler, and best of luck in WWE. All right, y'all. And then now we're going to go on to the main event match, which is the 10-man eliminations match, tag team style. So you have is Bullet Club, which is JY, Kenta, God, and Hikuleo versus ACH, Brody King, Carl Frederick, and Finn Juice. So this is a pretty much an all-over around match to say, even though the first person that got eliminated early was Hikuleo by the team babyface. And I was like, what the hell? I was expecting him to go all out against Brody King. That was what I was waiting for. No, battle of the tall guys.
Battle of the heavyweight.
Like, dang. And you know how much Bullet Club was pissed when he got eliminated. So they had to come up with a different plan. So overall, it was a pretty good match, even though Jay White did eliminate Carl Frederick, but he wasn't a legal man. But of course, he got some help with Kenta. And so there's a lot of back and forth. I really enjoy ACH, Brody King, and Dave Finley did the juice chant. That actually brings in more of a void to like chanting for us while we're stuck at home being safe and stuff. So that brought a smile to my face for it as well. And so at the end, it comes down to the final two, Brody King and Kenta. Like, holy crap. I was like, I don't know how Kenta's going to handle with this guy who is a hoss of a fighter.
That's one way to put it.
Oh, yeah. And at the end, Brody King did the Gonzo Bomb and pick up the victory. Man, that was a really brutal match. Your thoughts on this?
This is the second time now, I believe, that Bullet Club has lost a 10-man or some sort of elimination match. So I was kind of figuring they were going to pull it off here. Hikuleo being eliminated first really surprised me. I was hoping it would come down to those two. Brody King was definitely the star performer here as Juice led with commentary and encouragement. It really picked up after the first couple eliminations, where the second elimination took forever to freaking happen, it seemed. I feel like the ref was losing all control, so at the point, okay, he sees a guy fall over the top rope, and you're eliminated, despite, okay, it may have been inadvertently from somebody that wasn't legal. Really fun back and forth affair, and Brody King, he got it done in the end. Whether now it's for the team or just for himself, that's up to, I feel like, the fans to decide. But now he has legitimately a reason to challenge Kenta for that briefcase. A great, wild closer.
Indeed. And it was kind of like a shock to see, at least for Brody King being the one that actually beat Kenta. Like, wow. I was like blown away. And so afterwards, in the post-match interview, Brody King did state that it is a statement, and he actually challenged Kenta for the briefcase and say in the closing ending, prepare for violence. So this is going to be so we have another person that's going to be challenging Kenta. It's like prior to, Kenta challenging Kenta versus Tanahashi, of course. And now it's like he's going to be having more challenger because now Kenta is back in the U.S. And I'm pretty sure they're actually going to be, I don't know if the Super J-Cup is going to be taped or not. Like, it says it's going live. Is it taped? I don't know. But what's going on, I'm very looking forward to it, especially with Kenta. He has a challenger in mind, which we're going to get into that later on. Yeah, if he's going to have that opponent or not, but we'll see. All in all, this episode of New Japan Strong, I really enjoy all the matches. The chants were actually the one that got me blown away. And honestly, like, the main event match can be a little bit like all over the place, but it was pretty much enjoyable. So I'm giving it a 1.5 thumbs up. What about you, Noah?
Pretty balanced action. You had some great single openers. You have one among mutual friends. You have one that, of course, keeps highlighting a tag rivalry that still has a settlement to figure out. And then, of course, you have Bullet Club trying to own the world, but they continue having opposition, but you're also finding more potential challengers for this briefcase. And it really makes you wonder, can Kenta hold on to this? Will he be the one to challenge for the title? Pretty good show. I enjoyed Strong, fair pace, under 50 minutes, 1.5 with you. And by the way, the Super J-Cup 2020, it will be live.
Okay, awesome. Looking forward to this. So like I said, you guys, quick announcement. So next week's episode, Into the Stratusphere, we're going to be doing the usual recap of Impact Wrestling, as well as the bracketology recap for Super J-Cup, and also predictions for the World Tag League and Best of Super Junior 27 finals, as well as Impact Wrestling's final resolution as well. So that's like a sneak preview. And then another episode we drop will be slowly a recap for New Japan Pro Wrestling, World Tag League, and Best of Super Junior finale, as well as the recap for the Super J-Cup. So yes, you guys, it is going to be 2 episodes of Into the Stratosphere next week. For the friends. So
Super J-Cup's only in 1 day. Bull.
That's right, you guys. So just as a sneak preview. And also, again, if you want to check out, my results and recaps of each of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Tournament show, make sure to go to my Instagram page, simply_ca_okay, so you guys can watch like past videos of my thoughts and recaps as well. I believe I did drop like a episode with just the Best of Super Junior. I'm not the best. Yeah, the Best of Super Junior 27 combo with the World Tag League from Saturday morning, as well as Friday morning's World Tag League as well. So check that out, you guys. Anyway, you guys. So with that being said, that is it for the results and recap for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. And also, one last thing I forgot to mention, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, we may get to do a short recap along with the New Japan recap, or on the week after next episode into the Stratusphere. But we'll see, you guys. I'll keep you guys posted. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to Impact Wrestling. Took place on December 1st, 2020. So before the show started, they show a graphic of the late Bob Ryder, who passed away last week at the age of 59.
I believe so. It was pretty young.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I got to check it's been a while. It's been a long day, you guys. But
it's been a long week, okay? It's been a long week.
Indeed. Yeah, like he is the co-founder of Impact Wrestling, who wore many hats, as I did like a brief trivia about him. So it was nice for Impact Wrestling did actually posted a graphic in his honor. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick off with the opening of the match for Impact Wrestling. You have is Motor City Machine Gun versus Triple XL. And, of course, you have Madison Rayne back on commentary. Where is Matt Striker when you need them? Anyway, y'all, so that match itself, it was a pretty interesting opening of the match. So Motor City Machine Gun did put one hell of a fight against two of those big hosses. And I know, like, with Motor City Machine Gun, they have, like, kind of like a clever idea, like, looking based on, like, their high-flying, striking moveset for it. Especially the fact that Motor City Machine Gun did the double suplex to AC Romero. And, of course, at the end, they did the flying splash, net breaker combo, just thus to pick up the victory. So this is a pretty much a solid opening of the match. Don't you agree, Noah? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It was a good welcome back to the Motor City Machine Guns, back at full throttle as they got the victory over the biggest tag team legitimately in Impact Wrestling. Ace Romero and Larry D, I thought they looked very strong here. And again, they really come along as a tag team. I like the fact they're trying to step up their game in the tag team division. Looks like, I feel like for now, though, they're going to have to figure things out. I don't see the Motor City Machine Guns taking these guys on again. I don't see them feuding anymore following that. Motor City Machine Guns, they know what they want. They want to go after the goal. I still see a Battle of the Guns coming. But a good competitive opener.
I couldn't agree more because I feel with that match, this is like the ending of like a short storyline feud between the Guns and Triple XL. Because I know they're like moving on to like different better opportunities regarding Triple XL, which I'll get into that in the morning as well because it got involved with that still the stupid segment, which I'm going to talk about. But yeah, so this is like a well put off match, and I'm glad Motor City Machine Gun did deserve the W. Anyway, also after that, you have as a backstage segment in a parking lot where Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan was about to enter the building until Scott D'Amore and the rest of the security. So unfortunately, Ken Shamrock got suspended for 30 days for striking a Impact Wrestling official, which pretty much he actually beat the holy hell out of D'Lo Brown on the last week's episode of Impact Wrestling. So yeah, everybody was pissed. So Sami Callihan did enter the building. He said, "You're lucky. I'm in a mood, guys." So yeah, so pretty much we're not gonna be seeing Ken Shamrock for like a month. Your thoughts?
He's going to be back at Hard to Kill, and I'm sure they're going to somehow set up a match. Whether or not we ever see D'Lo Brown back in the ring, that'd be wild. But again, it doesn't matter what company you go to. You strike an official, there are repercussions. You bludgeon a talent, though, talent-on-talent violence, you just go in the building. But Sami Callihan's like, whatever. You need a vacation, go to the Bahamas. Ken Shamrock, enjoy your suspension, learn from it, or not, your choice. It was predictable, but hey, it is what it is. And Sami Callihan, he's like, I'm on cloud 9. I'm fine.
Exactly. Well, Ken Shamrock can be comfort in his own home during quarantine, since of course they already started to restrict non-essential travels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the numbers increase. So at least he'll be safe in the comfort of his home. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
All right. And then you have like a next segment, which of course I thought this was going to be a never ending story of this. So Triple XL got countered by Johnny Bravo, which Bravo confronted Larry D that he's the one that killed him. But then Tommy Dreamer confronted Johnny Bravo that he apologized and stuff. And of course, Tommy Dreamer dressing up kind of like a casual cop. Like, what the hell? Overall, it's like this whole continuation of the who shot Bravo situation that Tommy Dreamer's trying to have Larry D arresting, even though it was just his alter ego, Lawrence D. Like, seriously. So, yeah, not much to say. But your thoughts on this crap?
Case closed. He punched the cop. Can't do nothing else. And we literally got Johnny Bravo screaming why or no the same way Tommy Dreamer did during the shooting. As far as I'm concerned, this thing's over, or should be.
Exactly. Anyway, so let's move on. We have a match. The continuation of the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. So you have is the team of Renee Michelle and Killer Kelly versus Jordan Grace and, of course, Jazz. Your thoughts on this, Noah?
Match of the night. What else can I say? Killer Kelly, Jordan Grace mixing it up. The 2-1 one-on-one. I say for F6, sign Killer Kelly. Give me that one-on-one. I want to see those two go at an Iron Man match. You know how much respect I have for Killer Kelly, the first ever, I might add, WXW Women's Champion. I forgot Renee Michelle was involved in the Mae Young Classic. I thought she had a pretty good showing here. Jazz, though, hasn't looked like she lost a step. She really retired. She's been training this whole time. A very impressive performance by both teams. And at the end of the day, Jazz and Grace advances. But I certainly hope this isn't the last we see of Killer Kelly in Impact Wrestling. Kudos to all four of them.
I definitely agree, too. I was surprised that Madison Rain did actually mention about Renee Michelle's competing for the Mae Young Classic, because as y'all know, Madison Rain did compete for the Mae Young Classic in the past under her real name. So it's like, I'm glad they actually give like more of a mention of where these ladies come from, especially what tournaments they actually competed in the past. All in all, the match was good. I don't consider it as the match of the night, but it was a really impressive showcase match. The only thing I kind of noticed is that Renee Michelle, I don't know what happened to her, because like she did botch the missile drop kick from Jordan Grace. That was supposed to be connected, but then you saw that Jordan Grace actually like purposely fell off the apron, you know. So there has kind of like been of a minor botch to it, but I know she's trying her best to like get back in action. So I don't know when this is the last time she actually wrestled since, because we're in like in a pandemic and stuff like that.
Correct, because it was taped.
But yeah, and so
I think Kelly and Jazz carried that match more than the other two.
Agree. Like, holy cow, that was an impressive one. Like, you saw Jazz did the clothesline and then a couple jabs to Killer Kelly, and of course Killer Kelly with that brutal headbutt, and then the money dropkick to Jordan Grace, of course. And of course at the end, Jazz did the Jazz Singer to pin Renee Michelle for the victory. So it was a pretty awesome match, even though you have like a slight hiccup, you know, from some of the contender, like with some of the botches. But at the end of the day, it was really amazing. And Jazz, she still got it.
Knockout's still shining in Impact Wrestling. They lead the company.
Indeed. Anyway, you guys, moving on, you have the backstage segment of the North, where Ethan Page did cut a promo saying he cannot get over the loss, and he's planning to fix it so him and Josh can get the Impact World Tag Team titles, even though Josh is still not too thrilled, and he's still very adamant to Ethan Page. All in all, I know Page did actually challenge Carl Anderson to a match at Final Resolution face-to-face. Noah, what are your thoughts about this? Because I feel this is kind of like a start of like a potential like breakup between Ethan and Josh.
I feel like you hit the nail on the head. Again, they are the longest reigning Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions of all time. They've done it all, and they've hit the highest accolade you could in this company. We've seen the subtle shades of Alexander Wolf getting real sick and tired of Ethan Page's ego. Let's just call it what it is. And I feel like literally if he loses, and I'm not predicting it yet, if he loses at Final Resolution, that's going to be the final straw. I think the North are about to separate.
Exactly. So this is how it's going to be played out to it. And especially like how it's going to go along the way, which we'll get into that in just a moment when we're going to get into Carl Anderson's segment. Yeah. Anyway, y'all, so you have this backstage segment between Tenille Dashwood, Kayla with a K, and Alicia Edwards, where Tenille is helping Alicia, like, you know, like to get ready for like another photo shoot by Kayla with a K until Alicia, well, she was like looking for someone. She actually started to run away, and thus she actually, in a cute way, attacking Sami Callihan. She's like, Sami, what are you doing? Like, she was trying to, like, trying to put a sleeper hold to Sami Callihan while he was, like, dropping his drink or something until the security guard came by and trying to break her up. And, like, Sami did actually call her crazy. So, yeah, this is all because of what he did to Eddie Edwards. Like, on the last episode of Impact Wrestling from a week ago, I can understand that she is pissed. At the same time, you know, I'm glad, like, they're actually giving Alicia Edwards more opportunity. Not only, like, you know, being part of, like, Team Is All About Us, like, with Tenille and Kayla with the K, but also, like, what Sami Callihan's going on. And I know Tenille and Kayla with the K did check in on her, and they're like, well, we're going to see you later. However, and I have a theory, Noah. I have a feeling Alicia Edwards is going to convince Kayla with the K to have a match at Final Resolution against Sami Callihan for what he did to Eddie Edwards. Your thoughts on this? And, you know, I don't know. It just seems to me that this is kind of like a potential setup because we saw Kayla with the K was actually at the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, and he did an impressive showcasing match, like facing up with Havoc. So, your thoughts?
I mean, heck, Caleb with a K, he is a renowned wrestler. If Alicia Edwards and Tenille Dashwood are a team, then it seems like they could use Caleb with a K for the same means. I could totally see that happening, but again, Alicia Edwards, she might be crazy enough to actually try and attack Sami herself. But again, Sami calling somebody crazy, that's crazy in itself. This whole dynamic of Alicia Edwards and Tenille, I find it amusing. And now I wonder, with Sami right now on Alicia's mind, how that really affects Alicia going forward. And is Tenille and Caleb going to be like, okay, maybe you need to go see somebody. Maybe you need to calm down. And maybe you need a coffee. You want a drink or something.
Well,
so we'll have to wait and see. But I feel like she's going to ask somebody to fight on her behalf. Like you said, whether or not it'll be Caleb McKay or somebody else, who knows? Heck, she might go to Scott DeMar and be like, give me Sami Callihan. But again, would you do that match? I don't know.
I wish.
It's a fun dynamic to think about.
I wish.
And I'm glad we more opportunities.
Yes. Or if Alicia Edwards will hit another quote that kind of like very intrigued to Tenille Dashwood, like with those quotes, you know, Tenille did say that she is a positive person and she's always a go-getter. So why not have Kayla with the K do the work for her to beat Sami? So we'll see about
get Alicia and Tenille on the same page so that way she can focus. Let me take care of business.
Yeah, and then Kayla with the K will be like, what the hell? Like, gosh. So I think this is probably about to happen. But we'll see what's going on. Like maybe on the next episode of Impact Wrestling, the Go Home edition before Final Resolution. But who knows? Anyway, y'all, so you have is a next match. Johnny Swinger versus Cody Deaners with cousin Jake Deaner. So pretty much I thought this is like case closed match, like what the hell, but nope. During the match, out comes Eric Young and Joe Dury. Typical beatdown from both guys, you know, and then afterwards, EY cut a promo saying that he sees himself and he sees Joe. The sickness is everywhere. The world doesn't belong to you. It belongs to us. So it's kind of like the same spiel that he like cut since Joe Dury debut. Your thoughts?
Well, that's Eric Young in a nutshell. But hey, these two, they're just running roughshod. Scott D'Amore can't control these two madmen. And Eric Young has a madman doing his work for him. He keeps living by the same quote every day. This world doesn't belong to them. It belongs to us. You figured he was just talking to himself. Well, now he's talking on behalf of himself and Joe. I had to think that this match with Swinger and one of the Dinas had to lead to something. I was like, okay, wait, what's this about? Because I thought case closed. And then I see this about, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, yeah. But hey, it led to something bigger that I'm now much more curious about.
That's right. Which we're actually gonna go talk about it right now because I know the one afterwards are gonna be tying into like Matchville. Let's go ahead and talk about it right now. So after that one segment, we'll get into that. It was between Cody and Jake Diener as they're really upset about what EY and Jerry did. I know Cody Diener did call EY a curtain jerker and stated that it isn't about we, it's me personally. And the reason why, because like he has past history with EY when Cody Dieter was first time in Impact Wrestling years ago, and EY was the one that helped him carry along the way, not only as a coach, a trainer, but as a friend as well. So this is pretty much like a developing storyline in the making between EY and Cody Dieter. So and pretty much like both parties are gonna get involved along the line too. And I think this is like it. Like this is like a next storyline for the Deaners instead of like this whole Russell House crap that have been involving, but more of a opportunity for the story. Your thoughts?
Absolutely agree. I mean, this is the first time I've really taken Clay Dino now seriously. He really feels like now this is personal because his former friend believes he's nothing. Well, he's going to prove on his own that he is not nothing. He is a somebody. He is something. I'm actually really looking forward to this match and where this goes.
Me too. Like whether it was for on Impact Wrestling TV, maybe it continue on to Final Resolution. Who knows? All right, you guys.
Match with Joe there.
That's right. All right, guys. So yeah, there's another backstage segment right before that backstage segment we talked about. So Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly, they ran into Father James Mitchell. So Deonna asked if he done it, and Kimberly said, change from Sue to Susie. So Father James Mitchell said he did not change Sue, but he has a plan that is pretty going to be something to bring back Sue Young. So Deonna did tell him they'll meet him in the ring and just be ready. So right in the ring, you have Deonna Purrazzo come out with Kimberly. She's been haunting since Bound for Glory, and her time is come. So she called out Sue Young for a rematch right now, just as a trick. So Sue Young did came out as Deonna and Kimberly did roll out of the ring while Sue Young was in the middle. And lo and behold, music hits. Here comes Father James Mitchell. And he kind of promised that he really don't want to do this and how she has been a pain in his thorn, and say that she will pay for her sin for whatever Sue Young actually did to Father James Mitchell like last year. But this whole situation with like Rosemary and Havoc and stuff like that, I know that Father James Mitchell's holding a grudge. So creepy music, and out comes the Undead Bride surrounding Sue Young, which, by the way, I'm going to make a disclaimer. So if you see some of the female independent wrestling star posting backstage pictures, like Kenzie Page, of course. Yeah, she's one of the Undead Bride, y'all. But you're going to be seeing some of the female independent wrestling star on the Impact Plus exclusive of Explosion, which is kind of like AEW Dark WWE Main Event, their second show. That's right. So, yep, the Undead Brides came surrounding Sue Young, and that's where Deonna Purrazzo made the attack as her and Kimberly began to start attacking Sue Young until Deonna Purrazzo actually did a counter to Sue Young's Red Mist. She actually choked her, which actually made her like her blood like spew it out of Sue Young's mouth, which of course is like ouch. And then that's where Deonna Purrazzo took the advantage to do the Costa Nostra, and thus the Undead Bride took the conscious Sue Young away. As the Undead Bride carried Sue Young, Father James Mitchell walk out as Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly was smiling and all happy. Your thoughts, Noah, on this creepy situation?
Don't make a deal with the devil or you're going to get burned. It's not the first time that someone made a deal with Father James Mitchell and think everything looks bright on the other side. And it turns out to be even darker. Something worse is yet to come to challenge Deonna Purrazzo and make Kimberly's life a living hell. If not, maybe Kimberly will become a sacrifice. This is far from over, in my opinion. A very odd angle. And the Gastile powder, as you said, that Deonna Purrazzo pulled out for the second time, I thought was very impressive. At this point, I'm just wondering, where do we go from here? Something tells me, though, Deonna Purrazzo knows that there's still an uncertainty that is going to be following her until she knows once and for all Su Yung is gone and only Susie exists. I don't think this is over. I think something worse is yet to come.
I agree. And especially something's going to be bad happening for Deonna and Kimberly, especially anything endless possibility for this concrete storyline. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that.
Very much.
Yes. Anyway, Noah, so we have as a backstage segment with Chris Bay getting ready for his match against Willie Mack until out comes Moose confronting Chris Bay regarding Rich Swann, and Chris Bay, being the usual finesse he is, he's just focusing on getting that world heavyweight title, but Moose said he usually say his usual narrative speech, about the whole, showing Rich Swann the pain and stuff like that, and he told him that he doesn't see the finesse I hurt. And he said whenever Chris wins the title, he will take it away from Chris, and he actually wished him luck. So, yeah, Moose still continuing the controlling narrative, Noah.
You've been warned. Moose is going to prove again why he is Mr. Impact Wrestling, why his title is the title you should worry about. But if you want to go for this era title, then yeah, I'll just take that from you. You've been warned. You better deliver on not your finesse, but pain, because pain around here makes a statement. Good luck. I'll be watching.
Exactly.
Nothing more said than that. Moose basically endorsing, but also warning the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shots call. Anyway, then you have the backstage segment with Jim Miller interviewing Carl Anderson, and yes, he has been confirmed. He accepted the match. So we're going to get Ethan Page versus Carl Anderson at Final Resolution. That's the second match has been announced, because the first match announced Final Resolution is Chris Bay versus the current Impact World Champion, Rich Swann, for the title. So those are the two matches that has been confirmed for Final Resolution. So pretty interesting to say at least. So, yeah. Anyway, we're moving on to the X Division title match, which you have the current champ, Raheed Raju versus Crazy Steve. This match was pretty interesting, especially with Crazy Steve. We've seen his more of an in-ring work now instead of him being involved with the different hokey segment with Wrestle House. I mean, he does show his style, show pretty much more counters, more strikes, of course, especially Raheed Raju with his more egotistical mindset of it. So, yeah, Crazy Steve with the modified DDT and then crossbody for the 2 counts. And then he did try to do the crucifix bomb, but Raju did counter with the roll-up and using both legs for leverage while the ref was just busy, counting off. And thus, Raheed Raju retained the title. Your thoughts on this?
I didn't see Raheed Raju losing the title to Crazy Steve. With all due respect to Crazy Steve. Nice spot, by the way, where he freaked out Raheed with the weird rise that Rosemary does, when she's bent backwards like that. Strong effort, though, considering we don't see a lot of this from Crazy Steve in Impact Wrestling, considering what he's been involved in lately. And Raheed Raju, you can't argue with the guy. He's the champion, and he does what he has to win and keep the title. He took advantage of opportunity, and he's still the champion. Who could take the title from him at this point? I don't know. But a good showing by Crazy Steve. And I don't think he should be someone that should be slept on.
Exactly. So, yeah. And then, of course, I'm going to go skip into these segments. So, you have Crazy Steve and TJP talking about, Crazy Steve's match until Brian Myers came by. And, of course, gloat, as always, they told you it's a bad idea. And so, thus, TJP did try to defend Crazy Steve from Brian Myers. So pretty much it's a feud has been set up between TJP and Brian Myers. Your thoughts?
He's a freelancer. He wrestles all over the place, and it's been noted by both Impact and NJPW. So he's got another mutual feud right now because he can't challenge the X Division title till he does what Scott says. Should be a nice filler as he takes on the most professional wrestler, which of course I see TJP winning.
Exactly. And now the segment before that, we have this backstage segment between Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz as they're like talking about how they're gonna spend their stolen water cash until Fallah Bahh came by and say Gucci. And so Kiera Hogan is like, yeah, Gucci. And he said, we're not Gucci. And so he accused both ladies of stealing the money. And of course, if you're watching it on YouTube, Noah is holding water cash. Like, Noah, how much money do you have on your hand? Jesus.
Enough.
Okay, digress on it. So pretty much like he said he found out, he saw the evidence via Twitter and he shared and retweeted. The power of social media, y'all. So Kiera Hogan did lie to Fallah Bahh, which I know that Kiera and Tasha Steelz were having their hands back and like they passed it back and forth while Fallah Bahh was like looking at it. And so Kiera Hogan did made a promise to Fallah Bahh that they'll get the money by next week, you know. Until Johnny Swinger came by and doing his usual swingerism, out of nowhere. So yeah, I don't know. I think the segment is unnecessary to have Johnny Swinger in it. Your thoughts on it, Noah?
The Giant Swinger thing was unnecessary. How does Hernandez not know where his money is? And how has Kiera and Tasha not spent the dang money? How much money are we talking about here? How hard is it to get rid of this money, let alone keep it? Bah, you're a fool if you didn't know it was behind their backs, okay? This is literally just a gag reel, it feels like. It's almost as valuable as a cheap title, it seems. It amused me, but I feel like Tasha Steelz, Kiera Hogan, they're going to get found out. And I'm sure the money will be lost to somebody else, and Fallah Bahh will suffer for it eventually at the hands of Hernandez. The Giant Swinger thing, I have no idea why that even happened.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to the main event match. You have is Willie Mack versus Chris Bay. So there is more promotion for Super J-Cup during commentary, you know, that Chris Bay and TJP is going to be involved with, which I'm looking forward to it next Saturday, y'all. Anyway, so pretty much this match was a pretty impressive high-flying action with a couple of like punches and stunners and two like counters and offenses too. It was kind of like a pretty interesting match, nothing memorable to it. And then at the end you have Willie Mack did the stunner and thus he picked up the victory. But yeah, afterwards Moose came by and speared the hell out of Willie Mack. And then Rich Strong came and tried to make the save until Chris Bay did attack Rich Swan with the Art of Finesse finisher, and he stand tall and hold the title. And thus that ends Impact Wrestling. So your thoughts on the main event match?
Good match. Good win for Mack. Didn't see the win for Mack coming, to be honest with you. But Bay, at the end of the day, he holds the biggest statement come the conclusion of the show, holding the title as he's over the now down champion. As Moose looks from afar, as Moose pretty much, he made all of this happen. He put in his pain. He put in that word to Bay. And at the end of the day, Bay capitalized on everything here. And I think, honestly, this is just going to come down to one or two things. Moose versus Bay versus Swan for the title, or Moose versus Swan for that title. Because if Bay does win the title, it'd be a very interesting dynamic to have heel versus heel for a title versus a cheap title. But overall, the concluding spot for Impact, I thought was a very interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Way of suspense of disbelief.
Oh, indeed. And it's something that like we're going to be seeing like a long run too, especially with Chris Bay being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is going to be something pretty interesting to it too. But I'm actually looking forward to see what's going to be come to play at Final Resolution, exclusive on Impact Plus, or like the Go Home edition. Who knows?
But we got the Go Home edition before that, and we got a ton to look forward to on that Go Home.
Exactly. So all in all, I'm okay, y'all. Anyway, so the episode of Impact Wrestling was pretty solid. Memorable moments of it too, and of course, still the never-ending story of that whole like accusation situation. But anyway, next week is going to be quite interesting, don't you think, Noah? But we're just going to save that for later. So far, this show, pretty interesting. I'm giving it a 1.5 thumbs up. I enjoyed it a lot, especially a lot of memorable moments, especially the women's match was, pretty superb. The exhibition match, I was very blown away, especially Crazy Steve's performance. And we have more storyline that is already in develop, which I'm so excited. And your thoughts on the whole show, your ratings, whatever?
The giant swinger stuff is absolutely unnecessary. Besides that, I really enjoyed this show. Like you said, there's a lot of moving story components now, not just in title pictures as well. There's a lot of stuff I'm wondering, okay, what's going to happen next. And I absolutely love Killer Kelly and Jordan Grace's clash during that Knockouts tag match. That alone was my favorite bit of the show. And again, I wanted singles from that. It's 1.5 for me as well.
Awesome. Well, you guys, that's it for Impact Wrestling. We're going to go on to the main event of the recap and results show. It's going down, Dynamite. It's going down. That's right. AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. Just took place on Wednesday, December 2nd. Oh my God, my first ever AEW results and recap for the show, you guys. Besides the, the recap of the pay-per-view recap, I was feature with Philip and Brandon, but I digress. So anyway, you guys, so it took place, the usual Daily's place in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was cold as hell. You see a lot of people were wearing sweaters and scarves and winter gear. Of course, winter is coming, you guys, and of course, yours truly is wearing a comfy sweater, and Noah's wearing his, of course, Navi suits as usual. If you're watching it on YouTube channel, that's right. Alrighty, so for the opening of the match you have is the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, you guys. And I must say, it was a pretty fun Rumble. However, there's been a lot of storylines from each of the contenders. Okay, first things first. The first person that got eliminated was none other than Serpentico, which I'm not surprised, of course. But then you saw a couple face off, like Orange Cassidy with Kip Sabian and Miro, and you saw the part where both guys actually push Cassidy underneath the ring, not over. And of course they were still attacking him for what Miro got eliminated, of course. And of course the face off between Shawn Spears and Scorpio Sky to it. Of course Shawn Spears got eliminated until Tully Blanchard, who was in the bleachers, run by to give a slug to Shawn Spears to put it in that one glove, and that's where he strike Scorpio Sky while he was still in the ring and stuff. And of course, I think he got eliminated by Wardlow, I believe.
Correct.
Okay, okay, cool.
Got caught on the ropes after Spears basically used the power of the glove to rearrange Scorpio Sky's spine.
That's right. That's right. And then you saw Hangman Page, got the assistant from the Dark Order. And plus, when he got eliminated, he walked off with the Dark Order. So I was pretty impressed with this whole matchup altogether. And then for the final four, you have is Wardlow, MJF, Jungle Boy, and Orange Cassidy. Even Orange Cassidy was outside the ring, but it was a final three. So Jungle Boy, props to him. He stood up, he's trying to battle it out, but of course he got eliminated by Wardlow. And MJF was gloating, saying, "We did it! We did it!" Until Orange Cassidy came by, and then he started attacking both MJF and Wardlow, and thus MJF eliminating Wardlow. And of course, we got a matchup. The current Dynamite Diamond Ring holder, MJF, versus Orange Cassidy for next week's episode of Dynamite. Your thoughts on this impressive opening of the match? I like it.
I thought it was really fun. I also thought it was really cool how they had all the competitors on the outside of the ring opposite sides, and then as soon as the bell rings, they all just come in and beat the hell out of each other. Very interesting spots when you figure out Hangman Adam Page is going to join the Dark Order, especially when the Dark Order inadvertently helped him after their boy, John Silver, got eliminated. He was one of my picks. Dang it. And then, of course, Orange Cassidy, who takes care of Kip Sabian, and Miro's just furious. They take out Orange Cassidy. Not the appropriate way, though, but just destroy him. Miro runs roughshod. There was a great spot where Miro and Wardlow, give me a singles with those two, had a great clash with each other. Of course, Spears and Sky, they continue their feud as Sky continues to be called a thief in a way by Spears. Spears gives a little bit of retribution. Yeah, sorry for that word. At the end, though, when it came down to Sammy, Jungle Boy, Wardlow, and MJF, as mostly MJF and Wardlow were just kind of in the corner. And even before, there's a little promo bit where MJF's like, if I lose this ring to Sammy or Wardlow, I'll be perfectly fine with that. Yeah, full of crap. Anyway, Sammy and Jungle Boy had a hell of an exchange on the apron where they literally were fighting each other to try and flip or knock each other off. At the end of the day, they both got caught at the top of the turnbuckle, like you said, and Wardlow took them both out as MJF was gloating. But again, everyone forgot about Orange Cassidy, who somehow fights his way, actually tries, and MJF and Wardlow have a miscommunication. Wardlow gets eliminated. There's our match for next week. What the hell is MJF going to do with a ring worth over $50,000 if he wins? But bottom line, I enjoyed this battle royale. There were some great moments, and there's some suspension of disbelief to think about too.
That's right. And so it's anything that goes, and it's endless possibility. And I wanted to point out real quick, of course, as I mentioned, this is the match where Jim Ross actually acknowledged the tribute to the recent passing of Pat Patterson. So they did talk about it briefly of Pat Patterson's career, which it is very nice for AEW to acknowledge, you know, the legacy Pat Patterson has been going on.
Everybody respects Pat Patterson. You don't have to be with WWE, even though JR is connected with WWE, but everyone respects Pat Patterson.
That's right. Alrighty, y'all. So let's go ahead and move on to the next match you have. It's the first ever match in history. Frank Kadzirian versus Chris Jericho. So pretty much Chris Jericho coming out with the usual Inner Circle, Jake Hager, and of course, is it Santana or Ortiz?
It was Ortiz. Santana's
not there. I was like, what happened? I hope he's okay, though. I mean, I know people are like pretty having concerns. Let's just say that, y'all. Anyway, so this match was actually pretty fun, especially how these guys did lock up. So you got like Chris Jericho with the code breaker, and then Frank Kadzirian did counter, but then Chris Jericho did the walls of Jericho. Interesting. And of course, like a lot of back and forth action, a lot of offenses going on, a lot of like striking. And then you saw Ortiz was in the apron and tried to distract Frank Kadzirian, but Frank Kadzirian did not let go of the hold from it too. So I know it's like a lot of like back and forth until you have MJF and Wardlow coming out with a towel, and then out comes Sammy Guevara was running out and grabbed the towel because he thought that it was kind of like a mastermind for Jericho to throw it into towel or something like that. I don't know what's going on. And so Jericho saw what's going on. Sammy has the tower, and that's where Frank Kadzirian took the advantage to roll him up. But of course, Chris Jericho kicked out for 2 counts. And of course, at the end, Le Champion did the Judas Effect, and thus Chris Jericho picked up the victory, of course, in a really good match. Afterwards, Chris Jericho had enough with this BS from the Inner Circle where everybody's not getting along with. So Chris Jericho made the announcement that next week's on Dynamite, he will be giving an Inner Circle the ultimatum. Of course, they have 7 days to decide if they're going to work together as a team or the Inner Circle will be breaking up forever. Yeah. Your thoughts, Noah?
Really good match for a first time ever single between Kadzirian and Chris Jericho. Kadzirian pulling out the flux capacitor too. Both these men really dug deep in their arsenal. Not dumb babyface syndrome, by the way, by Kadzirian either, as he simply pulls the man back into the ring more to prevent the break and prevent the interference. He basically was a one-man wrecking crew, taking on the Inner Circle on the outside after Jake Hager missed multiple clotheslines, though he did hit him eventually. And I thought Kadzirian looked very strong here. I found it interesting how MJF was trying to throw the towel in, looking at his concern for his friend. But then Sam Kadzirian was like, what are you doing, man? And that gives a little bit of a false confidence kind of now between Sammy and Jericho as Sammy's trying to explain his disposition, but Jericho wanted none of it. Almost cost him the match, too, inadvertently. But somehow Jericho, and whether you like it or not, he did do it clean. He got him a roll-up, and that Judas effect, it dropped Kadzirian where he stood. I thought Kadzirian was going to win due to all these components. When you figure out the Inner Circle is more too much. I figure about quantity over quality. You figure about all these moving parts. It's all just falling, collapsing into each other. And we saw that at the end as Jericho, by the way, non-censored, he said, tired of this BS, like you said, and this is an ultimatum. So since episode 1, this has been the foundation of AEW. They've run roughshod. They've given us incredible moments to remember both in and out of the ring and incredible vignettes, too. Is this where the Inner Circle finally breaks up? I don't know. But I'm going to hold that suspension of disbelief until next week because, again, I think about Sammy versus MJF happening, Wardlow versus Hager happening. I feel like there's more to build to those matches, keeping the Inner Circle together. But, again, we'll have to wait and see. Really good match, though.
Indeed. It was a really solid match. We'll see what's going to happen next week, especially the ultimatum. Looking forward to it.
Anyway,
exactly. Anyway, so you have his backstage segment with Alex Marvez interviewing the Young Bucks, the current new AEW World Tag Team Champion, as they talking about that they are, let's just say, the total package of the tag team division, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the fighting champion until out of nowhere, the Acclaim, Max Caster and Anthony. I love saying the Acclaim. Like, because of their theme entrance is like kind of like bumping my head. So Max Caster started to drop the beat where he kind of freestyle about the Young Bucks' private parts and like some weird beatbox way to it. I was like, oh god, it's so cheesy and yet highly appropriate, but it's funny as hell. But anyway, and once he done dropping the beat, here comes TH2 attacking the Bucks. And I'm glad TH2 is getting more TV time on Dynamite. Like I said on Twitter, they're the underrated tag team, and finally they got the opportunity. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on this segment, Noah?
Yo. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, God, the Acclaimed. I'm like, seriously, these guys are trying to make their way and fame at the expense of the Young Bucks name. Give me a break. This was entertaining, but again, Dark giving opportunities to independent talent. As the Acclaimed, now signed with AEW, are getting their first opportunity very soon, it seems, on Dynamite. And it looks like it might be against Top Flight, who, of course, came on the Young Bucks' behalf to try and help them, I believe. Or was it? No, it was SCU. Apologies. Botch. I thought it was very interesting as it continues this feud of the eventual match, maybe to come for titles, as TH2 try to stake their claim why they deserve to be AEW Tag Team Champions. They have been an oversight for AEW for quite a while now, and I'm glad to see they're finally getting that showcase, that spotlight to stand out. It's finally showing more tag teams and different dynamics than all the typical names people know from the WWE or from being the Elite. So I'm looking forward where this feud goes, but the Acclaim being involved in this, now looks like they might feud at SCU. That's a whole different interesting wrinkle to this for me.
Exactly. So this is going to be interesting how those tag teams are going to be played out, especially, AEW's tag team division is stronger than ever.
Yeah, and it goes across both Dark and Dynamite.
Exactly. Anyway, y'all, let's move ahead to the next match right here. You have is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus legit Leyla Hirsch. Finally, a women's match that starts at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys. So no more 6:30 BS match before the main event and all that. So I'm glad they finally listened. So overall, this match itself, it was fun, except for the fact that Tony Schiavone did say, "What a bitch." Yeah.
Hey, he's got to endorse his friend, right?
Yeah. So anyway, this match it was a pretty much a fun match. I really enjoyed every minute of it too, especially Britt Baker did the DDT to turn the offense monumentum. And then, of course, you have legit Leyla Hirsch did actually dive to the floor, but she actually misses Britt Baker, but she actually take out on Rebel. And then, of course, Baker with the sling blade on the floor to Leyla Hirsch, followed by a couple shots, from back and forth going on. Britt Baker with the suplex, but Leyla Hirsch reversed it and blast Baker with the kick before taking her down again for the cross arm breaker. So it has been a lot of counters, a lot of defensive for it too. And so at the end, of course, Britt Baker followed up with the twisting net breaker, and then she did the second attempt for the lockjaw, and thus Dr. Britt Baker picked up the victory. However, after the match, like when she got her victory, here comes Thunder Rosa coming out and attacked the living hell out of Britt Baker. That's right. And so while she was attacking Britt, that's where Rebel, not Reba, got involved and attacked Thunder Rosa. And that's where legit Leyla Hirsch did grab Rebel from behind with the suplex. And
man.
More brawling out between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. They had to bring in the coaches and security and the agent to separate the two, of course. And you heard the fans actually chanted, Jerry, Jerry, right before they move on to the next one. It was so funny, like the aftermath. I'm glad they're actually starting with a feud between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa itself. And regarding with Leyla and freaking Rebel, we're probably going to see it on AEW Dark. I don't know. Your thoughts on this match and everything. This is like, why?
This is what I've wanted for the longest time. Bring a stronger showcase to women's wrestling, to women's division. I loved this match. First off, legit Layla Hirsch. Everything her name claims to be. Again, there's a reason why I've been supporting her since Josh Burnett Bloodsport. She really took Britt Baker to the limit, really tested the doctor. Multiple counters for counters, took out Reba inadvertently, showed her strong style with some super kicks, great technical style. In the end, though, Britt Baker surprised me too. I mean, a sling blade? I don't remember the last time she actually did that. Pulled out the swinging neckbreaker combination, finally got the lockjaw, immediate tap out for the sake of legit Layla Hirsch's jaw. Don't blame her. And at the end of the day, I thought Layla looked very strong here. She really has been making a strong impact on Dynamite. Hope they keep using her. The aftermath, though, not a moment to breathe Britt Baker had, as Thunder Rosa came out like a bat out of hell attacking her. And then Reba, of course, acting like how she does. I love her character. She tries to get someone usmanship for the doctor, tries to get in Thunder Rosa's face. They try to restrain her. All the rest come out from coffee break. And then Layla, out of nowhere, just suplexes Reba. I love that moment. And then, like you said, the coaches came out, and even Jared's like, somebody gets somebody out here to restrain them. Restrain them, for God's sake. They can't hold these two back. I like how Aubrey was holding Thunder Rosa back. We can only imagine what Aubrey thinks of this whole thing, too. All of this just seemed wonderful. I love this dynamic right now of Reba, Layla Hirsch, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. I can see tag team matches. I can see a match, like you said, for Dark. Because at the end of the day, we know what the end game is. Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, they're going to duke it out. I loved it.
Me too. And I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening next, especially the women's division actually slowly, like, in fruition, like more women getting the opportunity.
Yeah, it's slowly maturing, and we definitely see it more on Dark. I'm just waiting for them to sign Kylan King, for example. But I've been impressed with Genocide, Lady Frost. I've seen Vipress, Dream Girl. There have been so many prospects that could hold so much promise for the wrestling industry, not just AEW, but I would love to see several of these women involved more on AEW. And Layla Hirsch, I think, is just the star of it. Loved it.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, so next up we have is a tag team match between the current TNT champion, Darby Allin, and Cody Rhodes versus representing Team Taz, Ricky Stark, and Powerhouse Will Hobbs. We're actually going to be saying Will Hobbs. Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Powerhouse Will Hobbs. We're going to say Powerhouse Will Hobbs, not just Powerhouse Hobbs. He will still be Will Hobbs. I'm just saying, y'all.
If he has no glasses on, folks, and that's just in general.
Exactly, y'all. Anyway, so this match was pretty interesting and pretty much fun. Altogether, got more of a offensive move set to it. So you saw a lot of like heavy hitting action from Will Hobbs, of course.
Good Lord.
Stark with like a couple of some offenses, of course. So you saw Hobbs in a bear hug, and then he actually manhandled freaking Darby Allin, and then shakes him side to side like a kind of like a rag doll. Like, Jesus Christ, it's like so brutal to say at least. Oh. But at least Darby Allin did backflip out an attempt move from Will Hobbs, and then of course Ricky Stark did a back-to-back to tag Cody Rhodes. So it's a lot of like more of like a back and forth action, especially showing the automaticity together. So at the end, Darby Allin hit Ricky Stark with the coffin drop, and thus Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin did pick up the victory. After the match, Will Hobbs, still pissed and ruthless as ever, of course, starting to attack Darby Allin right away, and of course a lot of like heavy hitting until he saw Arn Anderson got involved, and then Will Hobbs kind of like face to face, or he kind of like push him off, and then Dustin Rhodes came by trying to make a save, but then you have Brian Cage in the ring and attack them. So a lot of like Team Taz being stronger than ever, especially they were ganging up on Cody as soon as they were about to do something. Y'all, lights goes out, music, graphics. Y'all, you guys, and I say y'all, the icon Sting made his AEW debut. Holy crap, y'all. Sting came out, entered the ring, approaches Arn Anderson, even though Arn was kind of in shock mode and disbelief. He turns over, walks over, to some of the Team Taz member. And of course, he locked eyes to Cody with no emotion. And then he walks over to Darby, gives him some compliment, face to face, especially the camera shots. That's right. Sting with the icon howl. And he picked up the baseball bat, couple howls, and then he walked away. Holy crap. Your thoughts?
Okay, let's go ahead and start with the match first. Because Darby Allin got turned inside out, upside down by Powerhouse Will Hobbs with that close on the outside. It was at the mercy of Will Hobbs most of this match, while Taz, of course, was on the outside. Ricky Starks just, relaxing on the apron. Cody, of course, gets the hot tag. The match finally goes into the Nightmare side's favor. I'm going to just call it that. As Arn Anderson's also on the outside as well. Cody with a Torpe Suicida taking out Will Hobbs just long enough for Darby Allin, as you said, to hit the coffin drop on Ricky Starks. Really great match. As this continued war now, it seems, as I said, war is here, with Team Taz and Nightmare Family develops. Also with the TNT title also in the sights of one Machine Brian Cage, and I'm sure Team Taz as well. As Brian Cage finally shows up after the match and fights on Team Taz's behalf to get the better of Cody, Darby, and company for, like you said, Dustin to come out after Arn, good grief, man. Don't do that. I know you got turned. I know you're leaning forward, but man, dude, come on. I mean, I'm not saying he's old, but dude, he shouldn't be like that, okay? And then literally we were like, okay, they're going to hit with the FTW title. The lights go out, and then we see more of this winter background develop, this subtle music. And then we see like this snowy effect in the arena. And then I see like a bird, I think, for a moment. And we're just ascending over a forest. Lightning strikes, screen goes up. I see it in a unique font. I see the word. I don't believe it. I hear Tony say, "It's Sting!" And I fucking marked my ass out as he literally was right there. And everybody galore, especially the audience, or the fans of the ringside special, you saw people jumping out of the seats. I've watched that clip like 50 times now, give or take at least. I blasted my Twitter with so much hype for Sting. I don't know if it even works anymore. And literally, he comes out, he pulls the bat out, and Team Taz can't believe it. They get the hell out of Dodge. As he slowly gets into the ring and looks at Arn Anderson, who's like, ugh, and these two are former rivalries. Of course, Sting haven't been on TNT since 2001, as Sully put. So that final match with Ric Flair back in March. And then he just sits down, looks at Cody for a little bit. Then he goes to Dustin, looks at him. And then just that moment, Darby Allin, I don't know whether he was angry or shocked or just trying to hold face or what. We just see this unique stare down with him and Sting, and I'm like, holy shit, put these two together, please. And then, of course, like you said, we got the two iconic howls, and he walks away. JR says, seeing this man makes me feel young again, and Tony, I feel like, was having a out-of-body experience. And this is the most happy, energetic I've heard Tony Schiavone since being part of AEW. Greatest moment ever in AEW. Did not see that coming. Now I know what they meant by winter is coming. There was a theme behind the whole time, and it wasn't about the match we're about to talk about. Freaking Sting is all linked.
Yes, dude. Like,
God.
I'm still, like, shocked to this day. Like, on the next day, I couldn't even stop thinking about what just happened with that particular moment. Like,
me neither. Neither could James. Neither could anybody in Team Elite. Neither could anybody in other chats I was with. And I'm still talking about it with you and others.
I know.
And
even though there has been a brief rumor that Sting's going to be AEW, but it's like debunk it. But, like, I can't believe it is happening. Sting.
Yeah, it's official. He set a record. His AEW merch, the hottest seller in 24 hours. Ever.
Right. He's not on the AEW personality section. He's on the active roster. Like, holy shit.
That's right. He's going to be a regular part of AEW, and they did
and he's
say
gonna speak next
week. And he's going to speak as possible. But
week.
We're going to hear him speak. We're going to hear the freaking icon speak. And Tony's like, I cannot wait for that. I feel like Tony's face is going to interview him, and maybe he will. I mean, literally, the AEW Dynamite post-show title, it's Sting in all caps. Enough said.
Exactly. You see how excited me and Noah we talked over, y'all. If you're watching on YouTube.
Sorry if you heard that.
Listening.
Yeah, sorry if you heard that. But that's how excited we are as wrestling fans.
Exactly.
Holy hell.
Exactly. We're so excited and we cannot wait, especially what he's going to say next week. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on from that holy SHIT moment. Now, Alex Marvez interviewing Hikaru Shida about her thoughts about Abaddon, especially the whole title situation. So, I know Hikaru Shida was very scared during the interview, but then she got distracted by a noise. And I thought like, oh crap, it's Abaddon. And so she says she do the interview again, but Marvez told her she can't because it's live. So she kind of ensures that she's not afraid of Abaddon. However, Abaddon's going to make the appearance next week on Dynamite. Your thoughts, Noah?
Ah, jeez. Freaking Abaddon's back. Psychological warfare begins. You don't fear Abaddon, but Abaddon is definitely on your mind. You can tell she's rattled by this. She's been rattled by her ever since her debut match against her in AEW Dark, where she almost bit her hand off. And now Abaddon is literally going after the freaking title. This is going to be very interesting to see how this develops. As we look at the strongest fighter, professional wrestler on the AEW Women's roster, taking on the most unique and bizarre.
Exactly. All right, and moving on, you have Jon Moxley cutting a promo about his world title match against Kenny Omega, though, and he is ready because even though like he's leading up to tonight's and promised that winner's coming main event will be bananas without the S. And obvious paid respect to the late Pat Patterson, which I'm glad he actually acknowledged it. So kudos to Jon Moxley for it. So your thoughts?
I thought it was very respectable that he literally treated this AEW World Championship match as big as how the Intercontinental title was garnished by Pat Patterson. And I think that was very respectable. And again, he's hyping up this match that's over a year in the making. A simple, confident promo with a little respect behind what this title stands for, too, in regards to a man's legacy with another title.
That's right. And let's go to move on to the main event match. You could tell I'm so excited. Main event match for the AEW World Championship match. The current champ, Jon Moxley versus the cleaner, Kenny Omega. So you have Don Callis on commentary, which is like, holy crap, Don Callis. He did commentary for Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page's match at Full Gear, of course, representing Impact Wrestling. So I'm excited. I was so impressed, so blown away. Like, what's he doing here? So all in all, with the matches, it was a pretty good match. I feel their match from last year was better than this year, to say at least. That's my personal opinion, because I know last year was kind of like hardcore, almost death match, and this is just your standard in-ring match. So you have a lot of counter, a lot of back and forth going on. You're trying to have like finisher with a kick out, and of course you have running knees to drop kick to the whole situation with the knee bar, more suplexes. And you could see it's like a lot of people are like chanting the "This is awesome" chant during the whole matchup. And of course, Jon Moxley with the dropkick, Omega with the ripcord, big trigger. And then trying to do the one ring and angel, but of course kicked out for a 2 count. So a lot of like hitting action, of course. That's where Kenny Omega did land the side of his head like outside of the ring so bad after Moxley did the brutal paradigm shift off the ring apron. I was like, holy crap, this is so brutal. A paradigm shift off the apron causing Kenny Omega to land. And that's where the referee is like checking him on him. Then he has his like medical official just to check and see what's going on. And of course, like Moxley, he has no patience, He put Jon Moxley back in the ring after he pushes everybody out. And of course, Don Callis all of a sudden left commentary to run to the apron just to like beg him to stop. And that's where, of course, you saw the microphone actually fall off from his hand, after like he make a plea for Moxley to stop the match and stuff. So referee's not looking. He got distracted by Don Callis. And that's where Kenny Omega grabbed the microphone and hit Moxley in the forehead, causing him to bust open. And so Kenny Omega did the V-trigger, not one, but two, but the third one. And then he did the one-winged angel. And y'all, Kenny Omega is your new AEW World Champion.
Finally!
Yes. Oh my God. I did not expect it to happen, because I remember on the seeing on Twitter of the media call, it's like, Tony Khan just did it that like Jon Moxley's not going to compete at Wrestle Kingdom, of course, which is set like, shoot, Kenny Omega's going to lose the match. But no, Moxley lost the title. Like, holy crap. Noah, your thoughts, just the match itself. We're going to talk about the afterwards later.
I'm about to say, let's focus on the match first, just like you know,
Yes.
this is big, not even bigger.
Yes.
Really good match. I love the callback to their first tag match during a portion of it too, where they literally were going at each other move for move in the exact same exchange back when Omega and Paige took on Moxley and Pac. And literally we got the same exact call. It's like, oh, there's the V trigger. And then there's that freaking lariat that turned inside out, upside down. There was some hardcore wrestling after they went out in the stands for a little while. And overall, I like the moment where the chairs were used more for a sit-down rebuild of will and strength among the two as they literally were forearming and slapping each other. V-triggers, paradigm shifts galore. I thought Moxley had him on like 2 or 3 different occasions as Omega tries to go for One-Winged Angel. Finally get Rise of the Terminator. He clears the ropes like nothing. Things finally go in Omega's favor for a little bit of the match. And then, like we said, he gets basically taken out on the outside of the ring, thrown into those industrial size heaters, lands awkwardly. This causes a bit of And then literally Don Callis leaves commentary to go to the aid of his best friend, one of his best friends in Kenny Omega, one of the best presidents in the rest of the world, one of the best from Canada, his own turf. And literally he's like, hey, if you stop this, you stop this time. I was like, oh, whatever, you just stay down. And literally pushes him down, his rows just fall apart. He looks like he's passed out. And literally the microphone inadvertently, he busts him in the head and then drops the knee down. Not 1, not 2, but 3, but 4 V-triggers, including 1 to the back of his spine. Ouch. As, of course, he was working on his back and his leg during this match. We had dragon screws and dragon sleepers galore. We had all classic cleaner stuff here. Finally puts out the One-Winged Angel. We got a new freaking AEW World Champion. Kenny Omega has finally done it. The age of Jon Moxley. First reign is over at 270 plus days. And I saw the live reaction of Renee Young on her Twitter as I was part of just watching along with her during that whole show. What a awesome match. I loved all the callbacks. I thought it really delivered, but it wasn't our biggest closing moment of the night. Now, was
Agree. Exactly. So, right after this closing moment, we'll talk about it brief. So, you have Eddie Kingston went on commentary calling out Lance Archer that he wants Archer now. Like, screw next week, he wants it now.
Right.
Which is funny. But the big moment of all, before that, but right now. So after the match, Don Callis and Kenny Omega run away, and you can hear Tony Schiavone yell, bullshit! I know. I was like, wow, he is not having it, y'all.
And
so while
this is what you call unscripted commentary.
Exactly. So while they ran away and when they hit to the parking lot, Alex Marvez did cut off to Don Callis. Y'all. So Alex Marvez asked him what just happened. And so Don Callis said, and I quote, everybody will find out Tuesday. Alex Marvez said, Dynamite's on Wednesday. And Don Callis just say, you'll have to find out on Tuesday on Impact Wrestling, aired on Access TV.
There you go.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Omega is going to make an appearance on next week's episode of Impact Wrestling, a.k.a. the Go Home Before Impact Plus exclusive of Final Resolution. This is the biggest moment of all, you guys. I know we have the icon Sting, and then we have this. Twitter went all crazy. Especially the Impact Wrestling star did tweet out fantasy matches and called out other contenders. So it's some of the AEW stars too. Wow, you guys, this is happening. Although for
Impact versus AEW or Impact with AEW confirmed.
Either one of those, you guys. Like, I know there has been reports saying like it's maybe a one offer, but no, it may be happening, you guys. A partnership, because I know with AEW they did partner up with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment and AAA Wrestling, but of course because of COVID restriction, so the only next best thing, of course, NWA, which I know they're kind of like going through like some situation, but Impact Wrestling, next best thing. Like, holy crap, I could even stop thinking about this all day the next day.
Me neither.
Yes.
James almost had a heart attack. Shout out to Archangel James Hebert. Please follow FTW.
Yeah. And I even messaged Philip Philip, holy crap. And he's very intrigued at it, and he's going to plan on watching Impact Wrestling, which I hope he's going to make our appearance in the episode of Into the Stratusphere, because I asked him, and he'll let me know. Maybe, like I said, as you saw on the 200 episode of the Bulletcast, maybe the Bulletcast and Into the Stratusphere Super Show.
There you go.
Who knows? Because as someone who is part of the Bulletcast, normally covers Impact Wrestling for the most part since the first episode of Into the Stratusphere, I can't believe it's happening, you guys. But I know, like, people are like, don't jump the gun. Don't. There is so many opportunities, so many endless possibilities. You never know what to expect. And
yeah, let your mind wander. Imagine the possibilities.
yes, you guys, this is so insane, especially with AEW, who is in the company for a year, and then Impact Wrestling has been going through so much struggles throughout this. So if they can work together with like the whole partnership, it is coming to fruition, and we're going to be seeing incredible matches, like, and especially helping out like with companies like AEW. Their struggles is the women's division. Well, in Impact, they have the strongest women's division of all, and the men's tag team division struggling. AEW, way bigger. The top star struggling. Coming to full fruition, you guys. Of course, that's the name of the episode, The Elite Fruition. So, yeah. Oh my God, Noah, your thoughts a little bit, because I know we cannot ramble as much because don't want to make it a little.
All right. Let me keep it simple. I'm not gonna fancy book tonight. Maybe I'll do that more on AEW Spark. Definitely gotta get you one of these days. Yeah. Anyway, this is an absolute incredible moment to figure about that could happen for us as wrestling fans, where two companies can come together in the most beautiful of partnerships, innovations, who knows, worlds collide, etc. You figure about the ambitions behind Impact Wrestling and the innovations that AEW has brought us as wrestling fans this year, bringing all the best out of the old into the new. You figure about how much WCW and TNA influence is in the AEW product. Just from the set alone, we got the tunnels, for Pete's sake, someone even said. And now we have the Executive Vice President of Impact Wrestling, Don Callis, telling us, literally tweeting it out officially from Impact Wrestling's Twitter, Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, will be on Impact Wrestling. They are literally done with their tables, but they are literally bringing people back in towards this special episode of Impact Wrestling. So whether or not this is literally from Canada or from Nashville, you be the judge. But this is a huge, huge idea of opportunity and optimism for all of us as wrestling fans in a year full of so much negative controversy, exposure, corruption. This could be one of the biggest, brightest highlights of your life as a wrestling fan since maybe you saw companies merging together back in before 2000s. You figure about how many companies they did already has influence with that have brought you the showcase so far through All Elite Wrestling. Heck, Tony Khan even willing to work with anybody. He's talking with Rocky Romero, so I would not count this out because people want this as well. Bottom line is this: the flexibility and the possibility of AEW with your favorite wrestling promotion is limitless. And right now it's starting with Impact Wrestling. Not to mention, Kenny Omega is still AAA Mega Champion. He will be in AAA as well. So that is the AEW Championship represented across two different companies.
Exactly. And let's not forget, Taya Valkyrie is the current Reina de Reinas champion, which is the women's champion of AAA Wrestling. Let's not forget about that. Shout out to Taya for making me remember, like, oh yeah, I completely forgot. And
then Thunder Rosa, of course, is still a champion in Japan as well. So there's those roots there too. The bottom line is this: AEW is offering this possibility for wrestling fans to see all your favorite wrestlers and companies work together.
Exactly. So we're going to keep it short and simple because, we don't want to go longer. All I can say is this is so exciting, you guys. Who knows? I'm excited
next week, Tuesday night can't come soon enough.
I cannot wait to record next week's episode Into the.
And this is going to be great for Impact. This has got to increase their viewership too. And
I know.
If you don't have Access TV, I encourage you. It's simple. Twitch.com or download Twitch on a mobile device. You don't even need an account. Look up Impact Wrestling's channel. If you want to see the future of professional wrestling, maybe, or you are a fan of AEW, or once was a fan of TNA Impact Wrestling, this is the ultimate opportunity for you Do not pass this up.
There you go, you guys. A quick way to watch from Impact Wrestling if you don't have access cable. So, yeah, y'all. So, yeah, all in all, I'm very looking forward. Who knows? I cannot wait to record next week's episode Into the Stratusphere.
I can't wait to be a part of it.
Maybe I'll bring in, like, one of my Bulletcast brethren, either Philip or Brandon, to be in the show and give their 2 cents on it. Who knows? I mean, I am the only one that's covering Impact Wrestling. I know in the clique, they did start. I know Baby Huey, Richard, and Tommy, who did cover Impact for a brief. I guess they kind of stopped because they're like more focused on it's just mostly Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and also MLW. You know, but who knows? If Philip is watching,
focuses, you know.
And if Philip's watching Impact again, and probably him and he was going to talk about it in the clique. I don't know, but like anyway. I'm the only one that talks about Impact Wrestling here in the Bulletcast umbrella because it's my
I'm just an outside source, so I got you covered.
You're from NoDQ.com, which I'm still part of NoDQ.com, y'all, but more in the behind the scenes. So I had to bring in some of that only ones watching Impact Wrestling within the NoDQ.com circles. Anyway, you guys, so with that being said, a quick thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up, no doubt about it. Yours?
You don't have to say anything else. This was the best episode of Dynamite today. This was beyond pay-per-view. This is groundbreaking. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up, y'all.
Period.
Matches were good, you know. Storyline is in development. Shocking moments, all that. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Just saying.
Enough said.
With that being said, y'all, that is it for an episode of Into the Stratusphere. Comment down below your favorite moments. Hell, if you want to see a super show of the Bulletcast and Into the Stratusphere come in one or anything in particular. I mean, this is so freaking incredible. I mean, Bulletcast just launched 200 episode and now like what's happening with AEW and Impact Wrestling, this is so exciting. So if you want to find Noah Foster, he's going to pull a plug right now. So where they can find you, Noah?
Pleasure as always, my friend. Folks, you want to find me? It's as simple as this. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Foster1916. The YouTube URL is youtube.com/c/NoFoster210. There'll be upcoming content regarding NJPW and, of course, my little own series I do called AEW Spark, discussion of all things, all elite wrestling. That will be up tomorrow night. And you want to just tune in for some chatting or gaming, I have a Twitch now and Foster191625. It'll definitely be picking up after next week once things settle down and I get my Ubisoft fix on. As always, support NoDQ, support independent wrestling. That's the heart of it, folks, for all of us as fans. Stay safe, protect your loved ones, enjoy life, and I'll see you all around. Simple as that.
Alrighty. And you guys, you know where to find me. Find me on Twitter and on Instagram and on my YouTube that is currently on hiatus at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. And also make sure to follow the Bulletcast on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And like I said, comment down below your favorite moments and everything, and let's just interact, y'all. And also make sure to follow the Bulletcast on all podcasting platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor FM, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, y'all, and etc. and all the podcasting platforms. So with that being said, y'all, so just remember to please wash your hands 20 to 30 seconds. Practice social distancing. Wear your face mask at all time. No excuses because California, we're in a lockdown, guys, and it's no joke. All right, it's getting crazy AF with the numbers. And just remember, you guys, please be kind of one another. We're all in this together. Until then, I'll see you in the next exciting episode of Into the Stratusphere. Cheers, y'all.
Have a good night, folks. Get her soon, Tuesday.